2 years ago, I had a customer come in and buy a PC for his son. His son just turned 30, so he wanted to surprise him with something really special. The dad gave me a list of components that his son picked out. All these parts were super high-end, and the total came out to around $11,000. He had mentioned to me that his son only plays games like Counter-Strike, PUBG, and even Modern Warfare. So I had to do my due diligence and just tell him that these parts are overkill, but if he's willing to pay for it, I'm willing to build it. After telling him the final price, he doesn't even bat an eye and says, let's do it. So now it's time to get everything ready, and I'm realizing that the parts are impossible to get. I spend weeks trying to find some of these parts. I even had to drive 3 hours away just to get a specific RAM. After all that, it's finally time for the customer to get their PC. The dad brings the PC home to surprise his son, only to find out that his son built the exact same PC a week earlier. He comes back to our shop, tells us the story, and asks for a refund. I told him that unfortunately for custom builds, we don't do refunds. At this point, he's livid because he just lost 11 grand. He then brings his son into our shop and threatens to fight us if we don't give him a refund. We ended up giving it to him, but what would you guys do? Last week, we had this customer that kept coming in for PC repairs. The first time he brought his PC in, he said that it kept crashing and restarting every time he launched a video game. So like always, I booted into the PC and I tested it out. I launched the video game and it worked fine. I was playing for hours and not even a single restart or crash. So I told the customer just to pick it up and test it out in store. He tested it out and it seemed fine. He was even shocked. He took the PC home that night and called me the same hour. He's like, bro, my PC keeps crashing. What's going on? So I tell him bring it back and I'll have another look at it. He brings it back to me the next day and I'm having another look at it. I'm launching all these video games right in front of him and it's working just fine, no crashes. He tells me to swap some parts and to keep trying. So as per his request, I do that and I give it back to him. He takes the PC home and he calls me back. He's absolutely fed up. He wants to return the PC and he's not happy at all. While I had him on the phone, I told him just to try a different power outlet. Who knows, maybe he's not getting enough power from his current bar. He gives it a shot and it works. We were both absolutely relieved and it's been working fine ever since then. When I was 10 years old, I had gotten my first computer from my brother. At the time, I didn't know much about computers, but I knew I wanted to game with him. He had given me a pretty old and dusty PC, but I was still happy enough to take it. A day later, I had watched a YouTube video on how to clean your PC. At the time, I didn't have this data vac or a can of air, so instead I used a vacuum cleaner. At the time, I thought I was doing a great job. I mean, I got all the dust out and the PC was looking super clean. I went to go plug everything in, my monitor, my peripherals, and then when I flipped the power switch, nothing came on. I felt like I was about to cry. I found out later that I fried the motherboard because of the static from the vacuum. I was so sad at the time, but luckily I was able to save up a little bit of money over Christmas and get a new board. Sorry again, big bro. About 2 years ago, I met the craziest dad. This guy comes into the shop and says he wants to build a crazy high-end PC for his daughter's birthday. He comes in dressed super professionally, nice watch on, nice jacket, everything. So I ask him, what's your budget? He's like, I want to spend around 10 to 12,000. What a lucky daughter. I'm like, how old is she? He tells me that she's 10 years old and she wants to start playing Minecraft but wants to get into heavier gaming later down the road. Anyway, so I send him a list of parts that I think would work really well, and he tells me that he wants it built the same day. I tell him that I can see what I can do, but I don't know if I can promise same day, maybe a couple days, because I don't know how hard the parts are to get. To which he says, if you and your partner can get this done by the end of today, I'll give you guys an extra $500 each. At this point in time, we were a very small company and it was just Aaron and I running the entire shop. We ended up shutting down the entire store that day and going to 3 different computer shops across the city just to find parts for this build. We ended up getting everything built perfectly on time and he did give us the money he promised. What a nice guy. Thank you again if you're watching this. A few months ago, I had a customer come in and buy a PC from us. He was so excited and spent hours with our team choosing the right parts and the best build for him. About a week and a half finally go by and we have the PC ready for shipment. The same day the customer received the PC, he gave me a call and was really thankful. He just wanted to know how to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11 Pro. I sent him instructions on how to enable TPM and how to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11 for free. I don't hear back from the customer for a few days, so I'm assuming everything went fine. A week later, he ends up calling me. This time, he's livid. He's super angry and he's really upset that Windows 11 keeps blue screening on him. He said that one of his tech buddies came over and said that it was probably a corrupt or broken SSD. So he asked me just to ship him a brand new one with Windows 11 already installed on. I say no problem, I get it all done and have it shipped out within a week. About a month and a half goes by without hearing from the customer until we finally get this weird email. The email was just him cussing us out and telling us how bad we are. He said he threw out the PC and completely blocked us. We tried calling him a bunch of times to make up for the situation. Sadly, he really did block us. What would you guys do?